Welcome to the News9 Plus Show on the world's first news and current affairs OTT platform, News9 Plus. In the last 24 hours, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has received 2 lengthy jail sentences. The first for violating the Official Secrets Act and the second for the Toshakhana case, that's selling government gifts. Now, Pakistan votes in its general elections a week from now, that is the 8th of February. Now, most people are calling it quite literally the general elections because it's the military that controls the country and they decide who rules Pakistan. And joining me to discuss this on the News9 Plus Show today are Professor Sanjay K Bhardwaj and my colleague Deepak Bhadana. Professor Bhardwaj, I want to start by asking you about Imran Khan's lengthy jail sentences. In the span of 24 hours, 2 lengthy jail sentences adding up to over 20 years in prison. What was it that actually cooked the goose? Was it the Economist article that he wrote in this month, or was it that revolt of May 2023 against the Pakistan army?
I think the prominent reason I do find is the revolt against the establishment, because the establishment decides the game entirely, and it's not just it's not a new thing in Pakistan's electoral politics, or you can say while there is a change of guard. This is basically just repetition of what happened in 2018 while Nawaz Sharif was ousted from the power, and the army basically who is playing the chess game, and both the sides what they decides that who will take over. So the same manner Imran Khan was blue-eyed boy of army. They have brought Imran Khan replacing Nawaz Sharif, and then when Imran Khan has started challenging establishment and become very popular. I'm repeating that he has become very popular among the masses. He had been repeatedly winning the by-elections as well as assembly elections, and that has been concerned the establishment that the power in Pakistan is going in the hands of the people or the popular leader like Imran Khan. And from there, he had been through the no confidence vote, and the 2 political forces who had been traditional rival, PPP and the PML, they have come together and ousted him from the power through no confidence vote. But the entire show was managed by the establishment. So now later on, he had been directly challenged and some of the army officers and including America. I would say that America has also become, US had also become a factor in this electoral politics as well as in the change of guard. So both the things had worked to convicting him in different cases. There are more than 150 cases pending against him, and you can see that Toshakhana and then Panama paper, and then Panama paper was on Nawaz Sharif and all that. So, and the 3 years he had already been debarred to contest the election, but the most significant aspect that he has been popular with the bat, and that symbol of electoral
was taken away.
Was also taken away.
Absolutely.
So basically, it shows that the establishment is very much conscious about the increasing popularity of Imran Khan, and so he wants to completely wipe out from the Pakistan politics. So, so this is all deep states gameplay that they have been doing in the past.
Absolutely.
2008, 2014, 2018, and again 2020.
There's no getting away from the deep state, is there, Deepak? And we were talking about how it seems eerie that in 2018 you had exactly the same scenario with Nawaz Sharif. You just swap the names, you replace Imran Khan with Nawaz Sharif, and this is exactly what Nawaz Sharif was going through. And literally the army hounded him out of the country. And they brought Imran Khan in, as Professor Bhardwaj was saying, he was their blue-eyed boy at that time. And look how things have changed in 5 years.
I think it's a general pattern in Pakistani politics. If you look at it, I think there's only been one free and fair election. That was the one in 71. Where Yahya Khan somehow managed to give them a free and fair election, and that led to the...
and that's when Mujibur Rahman was scored a landslide.
To the breaking up of the country.
And it led to the breaking up of the country.
What I would actually like to understand from Professor here is that what is the way out for Pakistan? Because as we know, the 3 A's dictate who comes to power.
Yes.
Allah, Army and America.
Well, there's a 4th A as well, Deepak, and we mentioned that the 4th A is assassination.
Assassination.
And that, you know, if all the first 3 A's fail, it's the 4th A that happens. And fortunately, Imran Khan is incredibly lucky that they haven't, you know, that 4th A that hangs over his head has not happened. And, you know, we wish him a long life, because at the end of the day, he's a politician and he's a very, very celebrated cricketer. And we have to play, you know, free and fair.
We have to play that, but see, here's my problem with Mr. Khan. His politics is essentially what his mood feels like on the day. So he praises the Americans, he praises India, but then he's more hardline than any other Pakistani politician. I think it's only Bilawal who's as loud as he is. So my question is, what is the way out for the Pakistani people? It seems that they're hemmed, you know, in between.
They have no choice.
In a tight spot.
They're a tight
so
spot.
What do the Pakistani people do?
What do the Pakistani people do? And you know, I have someone here who can answer that question, who's been in Pakistan and knows the polity better than any other Indian watcher of Pakistan. Ambassador G. Parthasarathy, former High Commissioner to Pakistan. Ambassador Parthasarathy, welcome to the News9 Plus Show.
Thank you. Nice to be back with you.
Ambassador Parthasarathy, we were talking about what choice do the people of Pakistan have? In 2018, Nawaz Sharif is thrown out and the blue-eyed boy Imran Khan is brought in. 2023, Imran Khan is in the doghouse and Nawaz Sharif is brought back. Where do the people of Pakistan go? What option do they have?
Look, this is going to be somewhat unpredictable. For the simple reason that everyone knows that it has been engineered by the army chief, Amir. And between him and Imran, there has been long-time problems. Imran would not even appoint him as Director General of the ISI. And when he came in, naturally, when Imran was out of office, he was brought in. He was the senior most as army chief. Which he would have got if Imran had not rejected him earlier for DGISI. So it's very bitter. And the other fact we have to bear in mind, that right now there is quasi army rule there. They're calling the shots. There is not an elected government which can continue with authority. So it's really the army calling the shots. And the fact of the matter is also that Imran Khan has not been particularly popular with large sections of the people. But then to do as they've done, to firstly get his wife and he charged with, offences of taking presents and so on and so forth. And he himself is also has another charge that he and his foreign minister had violated their complete secrecy laws, and they revealed in public the gist of a communication from the US State Department. So yes, I mean, if a prime minister can't make that public, obviously he's not a prime minister. But these are the excuses found by the army and General Amir to take it back on Imran Khan. Because you see, when General Amir was appointed as DGISI, Imran Khan turned it down. Sent him to literally all corners of the army without anything important. And he's taking it back. It's as simple as that.
But they seem to be working to a plan, Ambassador Parthasarathy, the Pakistan military, that they want to control the narrative there. And, you know, this so-called general elections, as we are talking, which Imran Khan is dismissed as a farce, you know, that Economist piece that he wrote this month, which has come to haunt him. He said it's a, farce of an election. But the Pakistan military seems to be wanting to control the complete narrative for the last decade or so. It's like that silent coup that they keep talking about.
No, but this has come back with this form of vengeance. Only now. Otherwise, even when I was there, we had a coup. Sharaf took over. But the fact of the matter is, that there was a certain things which the army did not get in with, involved in. And right now, General Army seems to be hell-bent on proving that Imran Khan is a zero.
Right.
And that it's really the army calling the shots.
Right, the army is calling the shots. And this, you mean General Munir, the army chief in Pakistan, is calling the shots. And this scenario is likely to continue, according to you. But Professor Bhardwaj, it looks increasingly likely that Prime Minister, or former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is going to be the Prime Minister again next week in the elections. You know, he's going to inherit an economy that's literally on the brink. The treasury is in tatters. Pakistan is seeing its worst terror attacks in over a decade. What hope does he have of, you know, restoring any kind of normalcy? And why would he agree to this thing of coming back to Pakistan? And, you know, we call it the worst job in the world at one point.
Yeah, one thing is that, you know, Nawaz Sharif has been given a safe passage.
Yes.
You see that the cases against him, Panama and all that, the convictions that have been revoked. So it is clear that the army is bringing him back.
Yes.
This is one thing. Second thing that, you know, while Sabah Sharif was prime minister, he had some bailout from IMF because he has increased, gone with the some of the conditions that has been put in. Increasing gas and oil subsidies and all that, that reduced. Taxes has been increased. But I would like to add 2-3 things that I have seen transformation in Pakistan politics in last 3-4 decades. What you were talking about, that there were 4 A's, like Allah, Army, America and assassination. I would say that 5th A is also very significant in present context, that is Awam. That Awam was not very active in case of Pakistan politics, as you can see in the case of other South Asian countries. In Bangladesh, that the Awam is always in the street against whatever happens in Kathmandu,
street protests,
in Nepal, India, everywhere. So Awam, this time, Imran Khan had got very significant support from Awam, while he had challenged the establishment and the people. This is one thing. Second thing, Imran Khan's protest, in fact, it had also gone violent, and that particularly attacked on the in Lahore. You've seen that the army officers' houses were attacked literally, and that has become a personal rivalry as well. So the army is totally in mood to make him zero.
I'm going to ask this question to Ambassador Parthasarathy. Your signal's breaking. Ambassador Parthasarathy, the point that Professor Bhardwaj raised, that in fact there are 5 A's in Pakistan now, and the 5th one being the Awam or the people. Now, Imran Khan has very proudly said that, look, I'm the most popular politician in Pakistan, and that's a fact. His approval ratings are incredibly high. It's over 60%. That's something that General Munir can never aspire to, that kind of approval rating. But how does this translate? How do these approval ratings translate when you're faced with the Pakistan military? I mean, we saw what happened last year with the street protests when the people, we called the Awam out on the streets, but the Pakistan military dismantled his party and they literally broke up the PTI, they took away the symbol and they jailed Imran Khan. How important are Pakistan's people going to be to decide Imran Khan's fate?
You've left out one significant organization, the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Yes.
And the judiciary has been sympathetic to him, in fairness. Wanting democratic rule, though the saying goes from my Pakistani friends that the Chief Justice wants a new assignment after he retires.
Right.
But that's Pakistan.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, the judiciary has acted firm.
Yes.
I think what will happen is this process will drag on beyond the elections. In the elections, I'm not sure how much the Tehreek-e-Insaf is going to win.
Right.
Because the man who's been brought back, who for long has been in America, the Army's B team, Nawaz Sharif.
Yes.
Now you'll recall I was in Pakistan when the coup was staged against Nawaz Sharif by Musharraf.
Yes.
So the fact of the matter is this, I think this is going to keep a position of instability for Pakistan.
Yes.
Of this wavering of power. Because
Right.
if the judiciary steps in
Yes.
with the present Chief Justice, they will rule against them.
Right.
Make no mistake. And therefore, we are in for a totally uncertain situation.
Right.
The elections will go ahead.
Yep.
And Nawaz would win. It looks that way because nobody else is there in the scene.
Right.
Yes, what has also happened is that the popularity that the People's Party enjoyed under Benazir,
yes,
no longer exists. So she would come in with full strength in Sindh.
Right.
That is not also certain. So what you are going to find is Nawaz there
Right.
in power. He is, the fact is that in Pakistan, if you are from Punjab, you certainly enjoy greater respect than if you're from Sindh
Yes.
as a politician. So I think we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because how's the Supreme Court going to deal with it at that point in time?
Right. So that's
They're
going
not going to get involved
yes,
in something which is going to happen within a week.
right. And
But it's really beyond the elections, which I think the largest single party will unquestionably be Nawaz Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League.
That's right. And Ambassador Parthasarathy, since you mentioned 1999, when General Musharraf staged the coup and Nawaz Sharif's life literally hung in balance, where there were interventions from the West and from the United States and from Saudi Arabia to spare his life. And they gave him a way out. They said, look, you can go into Saudi Arabia, into exile into Saudi Arabia, and you could spend 10 years or so. Do you think, looking ahead at Imran Khan, do you think the military offered him something like this, that leave Pakistan, settle wherever, and don't come back? Do you think that's, or is it possible that this deal could still be on the table?
Yep. See, look, the last he was in Pakistan was when I was there, and he was High Commissioner, and he was sent out later.
Right.
Now, the fact of the matter is that he has a good house in London. He can always move back.
Yes.
But the question is the credibility of governance.
Yes.
And can the Pakistan Muslim League raise hangama and create problems?
Right.
They are not really the type of people who mobilize. The People's Party might.
Yeah.
And thus far, the agitations which have been seen against the army have been largely by ordinary people who are just tired of this army coming in at every now and then.
Right.
So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But as I said, the cards have been played in a timely manner.
Yeah. Because
obviously, with just over a week remaining on for the election, in fact, just a week as of now, the House Judiciary are going to intervene in the middle of this sort of development.
Right.
Remains to be.
Absolutely.
But as I said, it's going to be up and down, because the Chief Justice won't get his appointment after retirement unless something done for democracy and Imran Khan comes back.
Professor Bhardwaj, this point about the deal that was, that the army could give Imran Khan, is there any likelihood that they could offer him a deal to leave the country, to leave politics? And because one hears that this kind of a deal was being spoken of some time back, is it quite possible that this could actually be made to him to ensure that he, stays out of the way of the Pakistan military?
Let me come up with 2-3 simple points. First thing is that, he doesn't have any other option. If he is now, he will not have any place in 2024 elections. Then he doesn't have any other options, going out on exile, self-declared exile, whatever. But the army now doesn't want him there. But the problem is that, the 2024 results are very clear. Nawaz Sharif is going to take over as the prime minister.
Right.
How Pakistan will face the challenges that is facing today, deal with the challenges. One is that the security crisis is there. Tehreek-e-Taliban is directly challenging the establishment. How Nawaz Sharif will come out with and will do it is a big question mark. Second thing is that the economic crisis is still going on, and the conditions of Pakistan, that the inflation, price hike, and all that, the rates of this exchange rate and all that has gone very high. Third is very important is that Taliban, Taliban, the Afghan Taliban, that the refugee crisis there and the border crisis there, how Nawaz Sharif will go, because again there is a problem that the army wants to control the Taliban, Afghan Taliban, but this would not go well. So these are the basic, very serious challenges that Pakistan is going to face in future. How these issues will be resolved unless until there will be no popular, no independent, free and fair elections in Pakistan. The army will decide the fate of Pakistan's domestic fates as well as its relations with the international community. Because Imran Khan wanted to cultivate good relations with Russia. Russia was one of the factors. He visited there, China also, and the Americans did not like it. So how the army will take the side with the America, then what would be the fate of China-Pakistan economic corridor? Because that was one of the factors that Nawaz Sharif and army had conflicts on China-Pakistan economic corridor. Army wanted to keep this China-Pakistan economic corridor for military and strategic point of view. But the Nawaz Sharif, he wanted to bring it for economic purpose in Punjab. That was not like the army. And this was one of the factors that the disputes and contention between army and Nawaz Sharif will go. So how they will cope with these challenges that is emerging in Pakistan. So these are the things I think that this election will not resolve anything, because these are not a popular general elections, while the opposition political forces are not having enough space to contest and to have a mandate.
Absolutely. And a week from now, we're going to go into general elections in Pakistan with the emphasis on the word general elections. And as my co-panelist just mentioned, the fact that there are 4 A's in Pakistan, and the 5th A, that is the Awam or the people, will get to decide. But given the fact that Pakistan's elections are a farce, as Imran Khan has called them, it looks increasingly unlikely that the Pakistan military could be sent back into the barracks anytime soon. And that augurs it's not a good sign for democracy in Pakistan. The military continues to call the shots and keep Imran Khan barred behind bars. I'd like to thank Ambassador Parthasarathy and Professor Bhardwaj for their views, and Deepak Bhadana. The Pakistan elections is an issue we'll be tracking very closely. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is India's first full-time woman finance minister. Earlier, she was also the first full-time defense minister. That's 2 of the 4 most important berths in the Union cabinet. Now, it's a testament to the Modi government's Nari Shakti call, or the cry for woman power. Now, joining me to discuss Nirmala Sitharaman in the studio today is my colleague Shweta Kothari. Shweta, welcome to the News9 Plus Show.
Thank you for having me, Sandeep.
Big day tomorrow. Nirmala Sitharaman presents her 6th straight budget in a row. That's a big achievement, isn't it?
Absolutely. And only second to Morarji Desai, who also presented about 6 budgets.
Right.
Now, Nirmala Sitharaman, of course, stands out in many ways, more than one. She is the first full-time finance minister after Indira Gandhi.
Yes.
So that was way back in 1970s.
Who was also the first full-time part-time defense minister.
Part-time defense minister.
Right.
And she was also the first full-time defense
Right.
minister. So, all of that put together, it does look like it's going to be a big day for Nirmala Sitharaman and for us as journalists, because this is an interim budget.
Yes.
It comes right ahead of election.
Of course.
About 2 months away from now. So what will be discussed tomorrow is going to be a template for what's to come for the government.
Absolutely. And Shweta, you mentioned the fact that Indira Gandhi was the only full-time, part-time defense minister and part-time finance minister. And that tells you in the last 50 years, there's literally been no one, no woman politician found fit enough to be either defense minister or finance minister. You have to be either Indira Gandhi, or you have to wait for 50 years before you can find another candidate.
Hopefully not. hopefully not. I think with the kind of policy interventions that we've seen from the government, including the reservation now for female, female politicians, it will set the stage for perhaps more finance ministers and defense ministers in future to come. It's not like there's a dearth of female leaders out there, but I think the fact that this government is calling for nari shakti and calling for Nari Shakti to act at the forefront. Also, you know, when you look at all the policy related measures that this government has come out with, from an Ujjwala scheme, you know, to Nari Shakti Samman, where women are now asked to be more financially independent. They are given venues to invest more, to save more, to have a more equitable say in the incomes, as well as represent themselves when it comes to their pension and their children. So whole host of changes that we've seen from this government in the past couple of years, which is going to set stage for perhaps more women to come forward, not just in politics, but in other areas and other
fields
spheres
as well. Yeah, it's a big, a very, very big statement of intent there, Shweta. And I think the important thing is that the government has not only made this slogan, but it's actually walking the talk, as you mentioned, that you have the president, who's, I mean, only the second president to be a woman president, and then you have Nirmala Sitharaman. But Shweta, you've been studying her track record for the last 5 years or so when she's been finance minister. What do you think are her biggest achievements as a finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman?
Absolutely. I mean, come to think of it, last 5 years have been kind of disruptors when it comes to economies, not just in India, all across the world. The world saw for the very first time after years and decades a COVID-19 like pandemic.
A pandemic after a century.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you look at India's growth rate today, it is a bright and shining spot. Even IMF today acknowledging that India is resilient to all the headwinds, not just political, geopolitical, but also economic headwinds that the world is facing at the moment, likely to grow at about 6.7% in the financial year 2024 and about 6.5% in financial year 2025. What does it really tell you? It tells you that India is strong on a growth trajectory like never before. And this, after it came out of pandemic, it made sure that jobs remain intact. It made sure that economic activity continue to accelerate at the pace it has today, making India one of the fastest growing economies in the world and perhaps third largest in a couple of years' time.
In a couple of years, exactly. And I was looking at the graphs that show India's GDP when Madam Sitharaman took over as finance minister. We were at 4%. Year-on-year GDP growth, and today we are at over 7%. So, I mean, full credit to her to steer that economy, as you said, through COVID and all of those unpredictable, challenges that hit us, including, the pandemic and the post-pandemic, the lockdown and all of that. But what do you think is been her biggest aspect of her 5-year tenure that has really stood out about her? I mean, we all know the fact she works incredibly hard, 12 hours, 14 hours.
She does. And I think what she also represents is female power. What stood out for me as a female journalist, and I think for a lot of women out there, is we finally found someone who represents a nari, a female embodiment of all that she is in a sari clad woman, also bringing about changes in the course of her tenures. I mean, you look at the fact that she replaced a traditional briefcase, which is often carried by finance ministers, with a bahi khata.
With a bahi khata, and which is now a laptop sleeve, a tablet sleeve.
Absolutely. And then moved from paper budget to a paperless budget in a tablet, and you can see that on your screens at the moment. So essentially a woman who has brought about change in an epitome of what a traditional Indian woman looks like, but also a harbinger of change. That is who Sitharaman has been. And a lot of women aspire to be her. As a matter of fact, it reminds me of something that I was listening yesterday, and she's responding in Lok Sabha with fervor, with jest, and she tells people off when she has to. She was not impolite. She is astounding the way she's conducted herself as a finance minister. And a lot of women out there, I'm sure, are aspiring to be her. We'll be aspiring once again tomorrow when we see her.
When we see her finally present the budget for a 6th record time. But Shweta, this the Modi government believes in continuity, and if it indeed comes back to power, as it's been widely projected to this year, do you think that she will continue to be the finance minister, or perhaps look at another cabinet?
Without not trying to crystal ball gaze here, but trying to understand how Modi government has functioned over years. If you look at finance ministers since 2014, when government came to power, it was Arun Jaitley 5 to 4 to 5 continuous tenures, but then his health deteriorated, which is when Piyush Goyal stepped in briefly at multiple times, and post that it's been Nirmala Sitharaman ever since. So if Modi government does believe in continuity, there is no better face to be a finance minister than Nirmala Sitharaman. So it makes all the more sense for her to be the finance minister if this government comes back to power. But you never know about this government, do you?
Right. I mean, the one thing that's predictable about the Modi government is unpredictability.
Absolutely, nothing is predictable.
Nothing is predictable, one can't say that. But Shweta, any other aspects of Madam Sitharaman's tenure as finance minister in the last 5 years? I mean, she inherited a finance ministry that was literally in the doldrums when she took over in 2019. The twin balance sheet crisis of the banks, and now when you look back, it all seems like a nightmare. And of course, the post demonetization that the economy had been hit with. But what was it about her, her management style, if you can say, that in the last 5 years that have kind of seen her through this thing? There have been all these rumors also in between that, oh, she's not going to be the finance minister, all is not well, she's going to be. But what is it about her as a professional that has seen her through the last 5 years?
So, on the basis of my conversations with people who closely track her, including myself, because she does interact with the press, she does interact with reporters, and she is very graceful in her approach when it comes to dealing with the media, as opposed to many politicians that we can talk about. So I think one thing that stands out with her is that she has focused not just in her ministry, but also her own life. Once she joked in a press conference that I took a break to make pickle at home, and it does put us in a fit of laughter, because we realize that here's a woman who's also in charge of her house, but also in charge of the finance of the budget of the entire country. So I think the fact that she's firm on her path, she continued to talk about women empowerment, and that is going to be the cornerstone, along with all the other buckets that the government will focus on, including the youth, the poor, the middle class. Nari Shakti will be a point of discussion, and I think we will continue to see that in this budget as well, which is tomorrow.
Absolutely, and that a few hours from now we're going to see the biggest proof of the Modi government walking the talk with Nari Shakti, that is Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who presents her record 6th budget to equal Prime Minister Morarji Desai's record as Finance Minister. But thank you very much for joining us, Shweta, on this interesting aspect of the government's walking the talk with Nari Shakti. Thanks for watching.